Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov is failing to fulfill his promise to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russian telegram channels wrote about this. Kadyrov has guaranteed that he will reach an agreement with the new Syrian authorities and maintain Russia's military presence in the country. Nothing has changed since then. Moreover, Russia's position in the negotiations has deteriorated, the report said. It was reported that, in addition, the foreign ministers of Germany and France have already visited Syria. Even the Ukrainian foreign minister has already managed to fly to Damascus. There is a complex, informal communication. We are now receiving signals that we will have to leave Syria almost completely. At the same time, Erdogan has intervened as much as possible to provide legitimacy to the new Syrian authorities. According to reports, Vladimir Putin sought other mediators for negotiations with Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, but could not find anyone better than Kadyrov. Recall, Turkey offered to help rebuild the Syrian military shattered by the fall of the long-ruling Assad regime and Israeli airstrikes, potentially filling a void left by Russia's diminishing forces. Limited Turkish arms are inroads to bolstering the victorious Hayat Tahrir al-Sham movement in Syria, but Turkey will likely need financial support to pay for more extensive military rebuilding that could allow it to become the dominant foreign power in Syria, regional experts said. Turkey will likely try to fill Russia's role, including in relation to Israel, said Aaron Lund, a fellow with Century International and a Middle East analyst at the Swedish Defense Research Agency. A Turkish contingent in the Golan Heights, or even just a military liaison of some sort, could back up UN missions and serve as a buffer and facilitator between Israeli and Syrian leaders. Russia and the former Soviet Union were long the leading suppliers of military hardware to Syria under the rule of recently deposed President Bashar al-Assad and his father Hafez, who died in 2000. Much of the former regime's remaining military stockpiles were destroyed by Israeli airstrikes in December. While Turkey may play an important role in providing military hardware, it is unlikely to fully become the primary supplier of the new Syrian army. Suleiman Ozeren, a lecturer at the American University and senior fellow at the Orion Policy Institute, told Business Insider.
A fighter of the 810th Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces has been captured by the Ukrainian military. The prisoner said that he faced the threat of being imprisoned for debt, which is the reason why he signed a military contract and joined the war. The Russian hostage said that during the latest battle, there were many casualties, but the commanders did not allow the soldiers to retreat. The prisoner said the soldiers were forced to advance alongside the wounded fellow soldiers, adding that he surrendered to the Ukrainian fighters in order to survive.
Свистунов Эдуард Сергеевич, 2002 год, 30.01. Из-за того, что были долги большие, приставы начали душить, из-за того, что посадят в тюрьму. И был выбор либо садиться в тюрьму, либо контракт подписать. Огневая была, да, тоже, но там так вот чисто давали там по 20 патронов, по 30 максимум и все. И чисто, блядь, даже не по мишеням стрелять, а просто куда-нибудь, блядь, в сторону моря, все. Потом приехали сюда уже именно на задачу, и нас, грубо говоря, просто, блядь, опрокинули. То есть чисто закинули, блядь, и, можно считать, забыли нахуй нас. И все. И у нас было, вот, в первый раз выдвинулось 3 группы, и из 3 групп у нас только добрались 2 человека. Чтобы дальше не разъебало, чтобы нам нужна эвакуация и все. А он сказал то, что нет, берите всех 300-х, тяжелых, легких, и двигайтесь дальше. И мы туда поднялись, и все. И там уже были, получается, ваши вот союзники со стороны Украины. И, так скажем, выбора больше как бы и не было. То, что либо смерть, либо нам пришлось сдаваться в плен.
The number of Russian soldiers voluntarily surrendering to the Ukrainian army to save themselves is increasing. For this purpose, the number of applications for the Ukrainian state project, I Want to Live, is increasing. A quarter of all deserters in the Russian army come from the occupied territories of Donetsk and Luhansk, reports the Ukrainian state project, I Want to Live. The project came to this conclusion after analyzing the lists of servicemen of the Russian armed forces received from our guys who were given the status of deserter or unauthorized abandonment of the unit in Russia. The majority of deserters and unauthorized abandonment of the unit are servicemen who come from Ordlo or temporarily occupied separate areas of Donetsk and Luhansk regions, where Russia is carrying out illegal mobilization of the local population, the statement said. In numbers, 25.6% of all deserters and special units that were included in the lists were from Ordlo. For comparison, Rostov Oblast is in the second place with 2.7%. Also, 12 out of 20 units that lead in the number of deserters are units formed in the LDNR, the project reports. They recalled that it is those mobilized from the Donetsk and Luhansk regions who are the lowest caste in the Russian army. They are even called disposable soldiers. They use them as they are called. Russian generals are the first to send them to storm fortified positions. When in 2022 the Russian army invaded from the territory of Belarus, Kursk and Bryansk regions in an attempt to capture Kyiv, units of the so-called LPR and DPR were sent to storm positions in Donbass, fortified with concrete since 2014. They carried out these assaults wearing helmets from World War II and with Mosin rifles of the 1891 model. They say in I Want to Live, nothing has changed now. It is precisely those mobilized from the Donetsk and Luhansk regions who were dying en masse on the front lines in Belogorovka, Toretsk, the Avdiivka and Pokrovsk areas, the project asserts. It is noted that they are the last to be returned from captivity, so it is not surprising that many try to escape from the Russian army. As media reported earlier, starting from the beginning of next year, Ukrainians in the temporarily occupied territories who have renounced their Russian citizenship will be deprived of the right to reside and a number of social rights. Starting from January the 1st, 2025, the invaders plan to deprive stateless persons, i.e., local residents, of their residency status. The Russian government also adopted a resolution on the permissible share of foreign workers at enterprises, which provides for a significant limitation of jobs from 2024. We are talking about Ukrainians who refused to take the enemy's passport. In addition, the occupiers have obliged local schools under their control to issue health insurance policies to senior school children aged 14 and over. However, the condition for issuing is that the teenager must obtain a Russian passport as well as a Russian passport of one of the parents.